Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 37. I'm just leaving my house early in the morning, still dark outside. I see some construction around the house here of some kind, road work or something. It's 32 degrees. The windshield was not frosted over, so I'm very pleased about that. Today is the day I pick up my car. I'm very pleased about that. I'm leaving early enough that I can make my rounds and still get back close to home in time to pick it up before this place closes at around 5 p.m. I should have an exact price this morning. The guy promised not to raise the price, even though he put I don't know how much money into it. If he raises it a couple hundred, I'm not really worried about it, but I know he's got to at least break even. This car will go to someone who is needing and deserving of it. And yeah, today should be a good day. Someone recently asked me how I did for last month and so far this month, and you can add it up, but I had no clue. So last night I was kind of behind on updating my spreadsheet. I put everything in from February 2nd through yesterday, and it looks like for January made around 22,000, and which is exactly on target where we need to be. And February, even though like January there were like 2.5 weeks where I broke even, so luckily that ended up okay. February already I'm at plus 13. I hate to say that because I don't want to fall back below it. I don't even really like to look anymore. I like to just take it one casino at a time and do my best, and if I did my best, not even worry about it. I hate putting those negative numbers in, but man, lately we've been on a nice streak. Hopefully that continues. Even at slot casinos, I might be leaving plus 15 or something, but it's not a negative number, which is always nice. Today's goal is going to be a shortened, today's trip is going to be a shortened trip, so our goal is going to be a little bit lower. I think 750 to 1,000 today would be very nice. I'm going to visit 3 to 4 slot casinos and one, maybe 2 sessions at one casino of blackjack, depending on the timing. And that's what's going on right now. So like I said, leaving home, and I'll be back to update you shortly. Alright guys, I am back. I just realized it's Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday on the same day. You guys better do some praying, that's all I can say. Today should be a good reflective day, a good religious day. Don't force religion out of your life, have it in your life. It makes sense, and it definitely makes a difference. Anyway, that's my sermon for the day. I went into this place, and right away I saw a machine that was eye-poppingly in good position. I played that machine. I put $100 in there, $6 a spin, and within 2 minutes I cashed out ahead over $1,200 on that machine. Played a few other things. Really everything else was lukewarm. Lost a little bit overall on the rest of it, and just overall that made a huge difference. I got my daily goal already just off that one machine. I ended up ahead overall for that stop $1,173 on the machines, so plus $1,173. And then I go outside and I see a friend of mine who's really more of a degenerate than anything else coming in, and he's like, man, loan me some money. I'm like, no, I don't loan people money. And he's telling me his sad story about how he was at this other casino until 3 o'clock this morning. He must have just, I don't know where he went for the other couple hours. It's only like 2.5 hours from here, but he was telling me he left all these machines in good position and he ran out of money. But I guess he had enough time to go home and get more money and come here. And he showed up right after I finished cleaning this one out. So whatever. He's like, man, you guys never leave anything for me. I'm like, we don't work for you. We work for us. Some people come in early in the morning when you're still sleeping. He's getting his ass out of bed and working hard and making his money and earning his money. And, you're still sleeping around with, your 8 girlfriends that you have. And then you want to come in here and have us leave you money. But anyway, so I talked to him for a few minutes, and then I'm leaving. So right now I'm heading off to the next place. I expect there to be very little opportunity, even though he said he left a lot of stuff there. I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip, analyze some of my statistics from yesterday, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. Went into the next casino, and there was not much there. I walk in, I look at a few things. I see one Asian lady playing a nothing. I don't know what she was thinking. I know she knows what she's doing, but maybe she's just degenning right now. And I was happy and sad to see that they were removing a new machine that they recently put in that the Asians just love to stock. And maybe that's why they're removing it, because the level of stockation that was going on by these people was ridiculous, to the point where friends of mine have told me that there were machines 15 feet away from there that were at good levels, playable levels, and they weren't touching them because they were so focused on anytime someone's butt got off the seat that they would sit down and double check and see if there's anything for them to take. And that was just ridiculous. But I guess that's what happens. Maybe they're just trying to get rid of all that aggressiveness that was going on. So unfortunately, these beautiful giant machines are being taken out today. They're already turned off. And anyway, I did find a couple tiny plays. 2. One of them I made like 50 cents, and one of them I made like $104, something like that. And I ended up leaving the session ahead $105. So with today being Valentine's Day, you would have thought that they would have some free play to get people in, but there's actually no free play until tomorrow or the day after. And they're probably doing that because people are probably coming in anyway, so there's no reason to do it. So just like lots of times on holidays, they won't have specials because they know you're going to come in anyway. So let's see. Right now, things have changed quite a bit. It's beautiful, clear skies, 37 degrees, and I'm moving on. We're going to go play some blackjack. I've been itching to play the blackjack today. I tell you, it's a game that you love and hate at the same time. When you're doing well, you love the game. When you're doing badly, you're so focused and working so hard. But when things come easy, lots of times it's kind of like it was too easy. I don't know if that makes sense. We're here to make money, but sometimes when it's so easy that you've got negative counts and you're betting table minimum, and you're making a bunch of money without having to do any real work that any dummy could have done it, it's kind of like lackluster, I guess would be the word for it. But let's hope for some lackluster experiences today. Let's hope for some easy wins without a lot of hard work. And looking at the time right now, I feel like I'm pretty good. I'm actually better than I expected to be at this point. So I may be able to add one of those casinos back in that I had removed for the day because I need to be home by a certain time. So right now we're good on everything. I filled up just before I left this morning, so I should have just enough gas, since this is a short route, to make it almost back home. So I should be filling up as I'm getting off the exit to the highway that leads to my house. I'll probably just go ahead and fill up the tank before I turn the car over as well, be neighborly and do the right thing. So yeah, moving on to the next spot, plus 105 there, and I'll be back to update you shortly. Okay, God, you got me. I got what I wanted. I go into this casino and the blackjack tables are all full. I can't play. I move on, play some slots, lose about 30, maybe $25, $30, somewhere in there, and go back to the blackjack again, find an open table. I sit down, spreading from 50 to 500, and my prayer from earlier about having a boring day was answered, and the highest bet I placed was $50. So I had a negative count for 45 minutes and just basically treaded water the whole time, moved up slowly, and after about 45 minutes I was ahead, 525, and I said goodbye. And that was my boring journey, and I'm okay with that. I mean, how are they going to figure out you're a card counter if you're flat betting the whole time? Negative counts, start to finish. Maybe I had a running +3. That was about it. Otherwise, every shoe started and ended negative. I never had a chance. So on my way out, I looked at the slots, and I was down as much as like $75. And when I went back to the blackjack area, I was down. I think it was 28, but I'm not positive. So I'm looking around. I'm ready to leave. I cash out my money. It was 22 because I had $78 coming to me, and I'm walking out, and I see this new machine they just put in, and I go play that machine, and now I'm ahead. I'm ahead $15 on the slots. I go cash out my voucher. I'm leaving. I see another machine. Now I play that through, and now I am down $31. I'm like, come on. All right, fine. So I go back through, take one more lap around, and when I leave, I was ahead 9 cents on the slots. So plus 525 on the blackjack, break even on the slots. And right now I am moving on. There is a place that's very close I'm just going to go to real quick. It's just a hole in the wall. I'll go in, check my 3 or 4 machines, come back out, probably won't find anything, and then we'll get back on our normal rotation, and I'll evaluate things and figure out how much time I have, if I want to add one more back in or not. But right now, plus 525 there, and moving on. Alright guys, I am back. As promised, I was in and out of there very quickly. About 10 minutes, I found 0 plays, and I'm moving on. Unfortunately, I was hoping, just barely out of the way, I'd be able to find something, even if it's just $50. But unfortunately, there was nothing there. So, I wanted to tell you about something that happened last night. Last night, I was dreaming about going from casino to casino and not being allowed to play, and how stressful it was that I couldn't play at different places. I don't remember all of it, but I know it had to do with blackjack and being told that I'm just not allowed in there and I have to leave right away and things like that. And it was a nightmare for me because this is something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy beating casinos, and I enjoy getting all that money back that I spent over my whole life, and even people that I know getting their money back. And I hope to make a lot more money in the future, but not being able to play at all would be just terrible, because I haven't moved beyond casinos yet, and I've got to do that. I've got to build up other things and move beyond casinos, whether it's stock market, credit cards, miles, whatever it might be. All kinds of free things out there. And I used to do small things like that in the past. Open up an account, keep it open for 90 days or 6 months. Get $300, but it's $6 a month, and you account for that, and you still make a profit. But right now, what I'm doing is the funnest by far, and the most money by far. So I'd hate to lose that. Alright, so I sent a text message to the guy with my car, and I asked him what time it's okay to come pick it up, and he hasn't replied yet. Right now, I've got about 2.5 hours to spare, if I went directly to him. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to another casino and see if we can make a little bit of money, and then reevaluate the situation and see if I have time to add one more or not. So it's all going to depend on how long I'm at the next place. And I do need to get some food, so I'll probably stop and get some food. I don't know where yet, but yeah, I'll do it somewhere, and I'll be back. Probably get some fish from McDonald's. I'll see if they have some kind of special on it now that it's Ash Wednesday. So letting you go for now. I'll be back. All right, guys, it's time for What Did You Eat Today, MW? I did not go to McDonald's. McDonald's did not have a fish special during Lent. Shame on you for not having a fish special. Shame on you. Burger King, however, had a fish special. They have a new fish sandwich called the Fiery Fish Sandwich, and I had 2 of those. They were 2 for $6 basically, with the special using the app, and I would give it a rating of probably a C+. And there's some reasons for that. Number one, it wasn't fiery. It was slightly a different color, but as far as the spice, I didn't notice any spice. As far as the fish, it was good. It was crispy. The oil seemed to be new oil, but it had a pickle on it, but only on one of the 2 sandwiches, and that pickle did not work well with that fish. And then the bun was way too big, and it was cold. So you put a hot fish sandwich with a cold bun, and it kind of takes away from it. So, you know, thank you, Burger King, for having a special during this time of year, but no thank you. I think next time I will try something else. There's a place, I don't want to mention names because it might be regional, but there's another fish place in the area. I may try that. That's all they do is fish and shrimp and things like that, and they have a drive-through, so if that gives you an idea of what it is, I might try that next time. And they have some really nice fillets that you can get, and they're just beautiful. I should have thought of it in the first place. So sometimes it's worth it to pay a little bit more for something that's good. So anyway, still moving on to the next spot, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So I went to this next place and really couldn't find much to do. Found 2 plays, made just a little bit on each of those. Talked to a couple people in there, but really not much happening in there. Yeah, got myself a drink, and I got out of there. It's just very bad lately on slot machines everywhere. So ended the session ahead $47, and we are moving on. Right now, I'm still up in the air about if I'm going to the next place or not. I'm waiting for the car guy to get back to me, and then I'll know exactly what I'm doing. But at some point, if he doesn't text me in time, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next casino. So for now, letting you go, and then I'll be back to update you. Alright, guys, I am back. So the guy is not ready for me to pick up the car yet, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward to the next casino. It's still about 35 minutes from here. I'm going to head over there. Usually not a lot of opportunity, but it is somewhat on the journey home, so we'll give that a shot and go home from there if I don't hear back. Otherwise, I'll go pick it up from that casino. So, alright, right now it's very beautiful out, sunny, 46 degrees, and moving on here to the next spot. Alright, guys, I am back. So moved on to the next casino, and this casino is kind of in a crowded area, so it took a little extra time to get there. It's just always a congested area. They've been doing construction, and it's just a mess. So anyway, I'm going to talk about this, and I want to go back to Blackjack earlier today and what happened. So I go into this place. As soon as I walk in, first thing I see is this guy who's very territorial, and he walked up to me, and he's all huffing and puffing, and he's like, I told all those old ladies playing that game that if those Asians try to come over and try to play that game, to just push their button and ask for security. I'm like, okay, hello. And he just went on and on about how he's going to get them out of there and he's sick of them. And I'm like, what's the big deal? I start walking around and they're camped out behind pretty much every machine. And they're just sitting there talking to each other, legs crossed like European men and Canadian men, Trudeau, and just talking, waiting for people to get up off machines. And this guy's going around warning people. And when I first walked in, I saw a machine that was like unbelievable. But this machine gets into a mode where it can pay so much, but it has to draw so much first. And it was in the take your money mode. And I didn't know how long that was going to be. I didn't know if the people were going to last. But they didn't have a lot of money in there. It was a low spend amount, like 75 cents. But they had about $30 in the machine. So I figured I'd go around and come back, and they'll eventually run out of money. So I walked around, looked at some stuff, and there was nothing, absolutely nothing available. So went around, took a couple laps, found a couple tiny plays, and played those through. Then I came back to see what this couple was doing, and they were still playing it. It still wasn't close, but it was getting there, and it was still going to take a whole lot of money. And I just feel sorry for people sometimes, but that's where our money comes from. So what are you going to do? You're going to tell them, and then they're going to take your money, or you're going to tell them, and they're not going to believe you. They might say you're harassing them. It's a no-win situation. The best thing you can do is keep your mouth shut and take the money when you can. So I ended up there for 35 minutes or so, and they had some kind of stupid game where they draw a card, and if you have that card, then you get some kind of free play. And it's just idiotic. They're forcing people to stay there hour after hour, and they stretch the drawings to like 2 hours apart, and you have only so much time to claim your prize. And then once you get your prize, it's in free play. And once you get your free play, it's only good for a day. So it keeps you there even longer, playing even more. So, it's a good way for them to make money, but it's just awful overall. So anyway, so that was that. I ended up leaving. I had $43. So plus $43 there. And went out to the car, and wife is asking me what time I'm going to be home because we're having a shrimp, like, what do you call that? Shrimp fry. Where they put everything in a thing, and they fry it all together, potatoes and all those different things, shrimp, lobster, all that, and they boil it, shrimp boil. So anyway, that's what we're doing tonight. So I told her what time I'd be home. I still need to stop and get gas again. I mean, heck, it's been, 6 hours, 8 hours since I got gas? It's time to get gas again. You can't live for free. Come on. So anyway, heading toward home right now. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened earlier. This is at the casino where I played blackjack. So at this casino, there were only 2 blackjack tables that were playable, that were open. In fact, only 1, because the other one just has bad rules. And in fact, amazingly enough, the one that had the bad rules had a guy on there getting marker after marker, and it's just ridiculous, just sad. But I walk up to the table. It's a no mid-shoe entry. They had just finished the first hand of the shoe. I walk around, I come back around, and the dealer sees me, and she's like, "Oh, you want to get in? We're about to have the first hand." I'm like, "Yes, let's go." So I walk up to the table, I buy in for $500, and I look over, and it's the same motley crew that I always have. It's the same people playing the same game at the same time of day at the same casinos, and it's so hilarious because so many of these people think I'm a local in like 10 cities. It's so ridiculous. So I've got a lady sitting next to me, real nice lady, real sweet, probably in her mid-30s, looks pretty successful, and I got this old man at the table also, and he remembered me from the last time I was there, which was a while ago, but he remembered me from that time. And so this guy just kept talking about, remember last time when this happened and that happened, last time you were here? And the lady was kind of like rolling her eyes. She was in no mood. And then we've got a third guy, the roving reporter, you could call him. He's just walking around from side to side at the table, looking over here, looking over here, looking over your shoulder, talking to you, walking away, coming back nervously, leaning on one foot, leaning on the other foot, back and forth. And he's all right. People put up with him. He's a nice guy, but he can be annoying at times, especially when you're losing and he's giving you advice. You have to hit and run. You just have to leave. You can't stay. It's like, I got you, man. Just let me play. But, so anyway, this guy, the lady was betting 50 to 100, and the guy was betting 125 to 175, and he had a tip out for the dealer of $25 every hand, and he had $25 on the side bet. So you can imagine how great he does. And he was telling us about a story about how the other day, whatever that means, it was probably 30 years ago, him and his son-in-law or something were at a casino, and they were both losing, and he was down 10 and his son-in-law was down 7, and he was down to his last $50, and he told the dealer that he's going to get all his money back, and he ended up getting half his money back, but in the process he tipped the dealer $8,000. You're an idiot, pal. Think about it. You got half your money back, but you gave the dealer $8,000. If you kept it all, you would have been up $3,000. Think about it. So anyway, then he was telling another story about how the other day he lost $2,000, but the dealer dropped $800, and it's hard for me to comprehend that. It's hard for him to comprehend. I mean, you're saying the numbers yourself. What don't you understand about the situation? You're not doing a smart thing. And his question to the dealer was, if I end up down $4,000, but I tipped the dealers $8,000, does the casino show that I made $4,000? And the answer is no. And the reason the answer is no is because first of all, they know you tip a lot, and they can see how much is in the drop. But I guess partially they could think that you have it, except that they know you, and they know that you're not playing out of your pockets. Now, if it didn't look like someone was tipping, and $4,000 disappeared, yes, they're probably going to pin it on you or whoever was at the table. That's why we rat hole. We try to pin it on other people, so it doesn't look like we're making extra money and we don't get kicked out of casinos. So his question was idiotic, because what's he worried about? Is he worried that it's going to show that he made $4,000? What's the difference? He loses enough money. I mean, I don't understand. Does he think he's going to have to pay tax on that money? I don't get it. So I never even thought of that question, because I don't think I've tipped $8,000 in my whole life. I don't think I've tipped $1,000 in my whole life on any kind of blackjack tables combined. So anyway, yesterday I was talking about a game that I've been experimenting with, and I did a little bit more study of that game and came to some more conclusions. And I feel like it works, and the math shows that it works, and I found the exact entry point, the exact exit point for it. But it's such a dumb thing. I don't know. It's like I almost don't want to do it, except maybe I'm crazy. I'm getting money. All I have to do is show up, so why not do it? But it seems like such a mindless experiment. I don't know. Am I crazy to think that I don't want to play it because it's dumber than a slot machine? I don't know. I don't know, but it's only available at limited casinos, and I don't know. There's so many restrictions on the game that it makes the house not care about watching it, and that's why it's kind of cool. But you win the money in such small increments. You're winning like $3 or $4 or $5, at a time, and I don't know. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good Valentine's Day. Hope everybody, like I said, make sure you get to church soon. And this is the most important season of the year, more important than Christmas by far. And I hope you guys all look into it at the very least. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. I'll be back tomorrow.